I wondered if you would clarify, because it bothered me a lot, and I thought I couldn't quite see. I mean, democracy is limited, but that doesn't mean you throw it out. I didn't, it's always limited, but it's still valuable for what it does, perhaps. So I wondered if you'd explain better how you defend it or whatever.
I wasn't advocating getting rid of democracy. What I was suggesting was that we don't really have democracy because we don't have an ideologically level playing field, because special interest groups are able to spend so much money to influence opinion that what we really have is an oligarchy of special interest groups that is very skillfully able to manipulate the general population into taking up positions that they would not naturally incline themselves toward. So if you're serious about having a democracy, then you have to somehow curtail the incredibly sophisticated efforts to skew the democratic dialogue to favor one or another special interest groups that are buying their way into the dialogue.
I thought you were throwing the concept out, because you mentioned about, this one person, one vote.
No, I think democracy, I'm a thoroughgoing Democrat. I think democracy is almost a biologically obvious way of organizing ourselves. I mean, one person, one vote. What I was knocking is that behind democracy lurks the idea of the citizen, and that's the idea that we're all exactly alike, and that's preposterous and an unnecessary fiction to the practice of democracy. We are not all alike in our abilities, in the wealth we command, so forth and so on. So for purposes of governing ourselves, we give each person a say, but we shouldn't then extrapolate that uniformity into the idea that we are in fact uniform. We are not. You see, democracy of that sort, based on the modern concept of the citizen, has arisen in the wake of the invention of printing, and printing, a number of ideas spun off from printing that McLuhan was the only person to really correctly identify what they were and what their effects were. One is the idea of interchangeable parts, because print is a system of interchangeable parts. Once you establish a font, every lowercase e looks like every other lowercase e. What we are is more analogous to what you deal with in manuscript, where every E is sort of like every other E, but it contains individual variations imparted by the fact that it was drawn by a human hand at a given moment. We want to express our political wills through a system of equality, but we don't want to do damage to our individual uniqueness. And the point I was trying to get at last night is the concept of the citizen, it does erode the idea of our uniqueness to some degree.